what the most important 3 lines of code are, what the most important 3 pillars are in the process of nurturing a child's growth. As humans, evolving all the way to today's complex societal system, what do we rely on? 3 simple rules. The first rule is called inheritance, where the father provides half of the genes, the mother provides the other half. The second rule is called variation, where a few points mutate, becoming slightly different from the parents. The third rule is called selection, where those that become good, suitable for this world, stay, and those unsuitable gradually get eliminated. Think about something as complex as human evolution. It's all driven by these 3 simple rules: inheritance, variation, selection. So, someone asked the cellular automata expert, the part we discussed in the book, Complexity, "Can you tell me what the origin of the universe really is?" That cellular automata expert said, "I don't know what the origin of the universe really is, but if there is one, it definitely doesn't exceed 3 lines of code." The core of this book is to discuss with everyone what the most important 3 lines of code are, what the most important 3 pillars are in the process of nurturing a child's growth. After finding these 3 pillars, you'll find that the child is full of vitality, and only then can he continuously iterate, because no matter how much we worry for our children, how long can we accompany them? If they don't have the ability to solve problems, if they can't protect themselves, all the efforts from parents are in vain. So, if we treat kids like machines, trying to mold them into obedient robots, guess what? It's a tough job, the kid suffers, and your relationship becomes super tense. Sound familiar? Yep, that's the reality for many of us nowadays. In everyday life, most families are stuck in this kind of misery. Take homework, for example. You can see it clearly. Lots of parents freak out after their kids hit 1st grade, worrying about how to instill good study habits. Then they start coming up with all sorts of crazy ideas, like saying 1st grade is make or break, have to keep an eye on them, make sure they develop good study habits, and once they nail homework, all's good. So they start hovering over homework from 1st grade onwards. Once you start hovering over homework, you have to hover till senior year. It's a pattern, because the minute you let up, the kids start slacking off. What do kids learn from this? They start thinking they need someone watching over them to get anything done. No one's watching, can't do homework. Then lots of parents get puzzled. They're like, normally my kid's all respectful, happy-go-lucky. Why does homework turn them into a hot mess? Why do they get so mad, like a volcano's erupting out of nowhere? So think about it. When your kid messes up a homework question or can't solve a math problem, is that really worth getting mad over? Nah, it's cute and funny when you ask them what's 2 plus 2 and they say 5. Because adults don't make those mistakes, only kids do. That's a normal mindset. But here's the thing, when it's someone else's kid messing up, it's adorable, funny, but when it's your own kid, suddenly it's infuriating, like how could you do this? Then I ask these parents, getting mad, throwing tantrums, scolding them, does that help them understand the word problem they're struggling with? Parents know deep down it doesn't. Why? Think about it. When you're learning to drive, does it help if your spouse is sitting next to you yelling at you every day? Nah, you start losing confidence, eventually saying, I'm done with this. We know yelling doesn't help kids with homework at all, but many parents just can't help themselves, end up having heart attacks, getting rushed to the hospital, and causing all sorts of problems. Where does it come from? Subconscious stuff. It's called projection. So, right at the beginning of this book, I say, a lot of folks are questioning now, does the parent-child relationship really shape a person's entire life? This decisive impact needs to be defined. It's difficult to say. There's this one book claiming that once kids hit puberty, their friends have the biggest influence, then teachers, and finally, parents. That's one perspective, but even after reading that book, I wasn't convinced. Even if we don't say the parent-child relationship has a decisive impact on our lives, we should at least acknowledge it plays a darn important role in shaping who we become. Like when your kid messes up homework and you get mad, it's because back in your childhood, something similar happened, and it hurt. So you hear a lot of moms yelling at their kids, and the most common line is, how many times have I told you? What's the underlying message there? It's like saying, This ain't on me, it's on you. We're trying to shift the blame to our kids. What's the benefit of laying out responsibility for a 7 or 8-year-old? It just shows that in that moment of losing it, you regress to being a 7 or 8-year-old yourself. That's projection in action. So, the parent-child relationship has a huge impact on our behavioral patterns, our values, even our hormone levels.